Kim here to give you a rundown of HTT Nutrition, some of the philosophy behind what we do, as well as the different options that are available to you so you can decide what's best. Now, nutrition is often ignored relative to training, but it's important to understand that as athletes and individuals who train very hard, nutritional needs are not only additional, but very different from sedentary populations. So the idea behind this program is to make sure that your food is working for you so that when you go in to train, you can train as hard and as best as you can. You can recover from that training. And in doing so, you can maximize the positive adaptations you make from that training, whether it comes to, becoming stronger, running faster, rucking faster, just generally improving body composition, overall energy level, and health. So those are some of the key premises behind the program and why we do what we do. It's really every time you train, you're getting the most out of that training. That's what we want to ensure, so you can continue to make the progress that you want. And along the way, you'll probably see some benefits in the way you feel and look as well. So thinking about that, nutrition is interesting, and a perfect, nutrition plan using the best practices out there can look perfect on paper. But the reality is that it has to be sustainable for you and practical for you, or the plan is only as good as what's written on paper. So thinking about the long term, in addition to our short-term goals, as we make changes and improvements in our nutrition, is a key part of this, right? So we never want to sacrifice our health or our long-term sustainability, or say, oh, I can do this for a few weeks, but I'm done now, right? It's more about thinking the long-term and positive changes that you can make over time. So it's not about any type of crash dieting, pills, shakes, teas, what have you. It's a balanced diet designed for strength and endurance athletes. And my approach to this is to take it from both the top down and the bottom up, meaning that I'm taking the best practices with the strongest evidence in sports nutrition, bringing that down, but also with the view of who you are and what you do and what you're capable of. And there's a middle meeting point there, and that's really where the practical elements and the sustainability comes from, right? So this program is really for anyone who is looking to take the next step in their performance, their improvement, perhaps wants to shed some fat, perhaps wants to put on some muscle, maybe preparing for an event, needing to improve endurance or some other factor. So it can get very targeted that way in terms of how nutrition can best support your training for you to meet your goal. The diet is really flexible and designed for anyone. So whether you're an omnivore, vegetarian, or vegan, it's fully accommodating for that. And it's really on the fundamental principles, depending on your goals and depending on your lifestyle and your training. We're going to look at your total energy and take your calories and set it as either maintenance calories or calorie deficit, energy deficit if you're trying to lose some fat, or an energy surplus if you're trying to mass and ensure that you're gaining as much muscle as possible. But within calories, where those calories come from really matter, right? So looking at the macronutrients, the amount of protein, carbohydrates, and fats in your diet to ensure that we are getting the adaptations that we need. Beyond that, it's wholesome food selection. And when we say wholesome food selection, this is most of the time, meaning more often than not, eat these foods. And you'll see in the plans that we develop, it's a very exhaustive list of foods. There are times to indulge, and we accommodate for that as balance. We're human beings. Food is meant to be enjoyed, but it's understanding that there are times when we're going to do less or more of that, depending on where we're at. So once again, having some flexibility that way ensures that you're not only focused on your near-term goal, but we're establishing something for the long-term and the sustainable. We don't want to get to a point ever where we feel like we're doing something that it's impossible to keep doing after being on a program. So, keeping that in mind as you go. So there are 3 different options to choose from depending on what you're looking for. Option 1 is 8 weeks long. And really what this is essentially a guidebook that you will receive so that you can build your own nutrition plan based on best practices. And you can decide based on your goals what you want to do within a certain framework. Option 2 has an additional level of accountability and direction in that I'm going to set your nutrition plan for you based upon some details you provide me about who you are and what your training is and what you intend to do. You'll also get a tracker file that you'll keep updated, which I will check on every 2 weeks and see if we need to make any adjustments to your plan based upon your feedback. Option 2 is also 8 weeks. Option 3 is 12 weeks long, and that's sort of the ultimate in accountability and direction and support. In addition to me building up your customized nutrition plan based on a whole host of additional detail factors around your history, lifestyle, training, where you want to go. We'll also be checking in with each other twice a week, and we'll also have review meetings about once every other week to monitor progress and do a full review. So that's really if you have a very specific, very targeted goal, or maybe you're someone who just doesn't know where to start and are looking to build a platform and foundation. The idea is to empower you with knowledge so that you can make decisions about your diet in the long term, well beyond the time that we spend together. So if you have any questions about these options, please feel free to reach out. There's more information on the HGT website as well as my website, and you can email me anytime if you need more questions answered before you decide to sign up. Hope to see you in the group soon.